I have been with my GF for 3 years. I have a 13-year-old son James and she has an 11-year-old son Mark. Mark and James have different bedtimes. Mark goes to bed at 8 and James goes to bed at 9. Mark also has severe ADHD, autism and a lot of emotional regulation problems. Due to his issues, my son isn't particularly fond of him. They butt heads a lot. Mainly because my son doesn't think that they get fair treatment and usually it is surrounding bedtime. Mark often fights us to go to sleep and by the time we finally get him to stop throwing a tantrum, it's around 8:45. James feels that he should be able to stay up later because Mark is awake until 8:45, which is 45 minutes past his bedtime. So at that point, James runs his mouth nearly every night about it not being fair to him and that he should be able to stay up 45 minutes later. However, this also happens even when it takes only 10 minutes to get Mark in bed. James gets pissed off, runs his mouth and says he should be able to stay up an hour later because Mark was in bed at 8:10 versus 8 p.m. when he was supposed to be. My son can be a dink sometimes when it comes to running his mouth and he's been spoken to so many times. Grounded more often than he should be as well because he is disrespectful when running his mouth. So in no way am I condoning his shit behavior here. I've been trying to correct it but he's a kid and he's just being an ah. Anywho, at 8:15 last night my GF was trying to get Mark down for bed and it's becoming a problem because it's just a bad night. James goes into Mark's room where my GF was and says so I'm staying up an hour later then. My GF says no, you're not actually, get out. This sends Mark into a conniption because now he thinks James is staying up an hour later, because James is running his mouth and Mark doesn't process information the same way we do. So it sends Mark into a round of fits. James didn't leave the room and instead says tell me how this is fair. Explain this to me. Why is he staying up every damn night but I can't? My GF again told him to leave the room. I go in and before I can even open my mouth, James says something under his breath and my GF loses her shit. I have never seen her be anything other than a kind, overly patient woman so this was a complete shock to the system. She screams get the fuck out and mind your own fucking business. James immediately shuts up and walks out. But apparently that wasn't enough because she just snapped. Again, this is not normal. She followed him out into the hallway and said better yet, pack your fucking shit. You're no longer welcome in my house. Go back to your mom's. I step in completely, told James he is once again grounded from everything and to go to his room and then told my GF to step outside and calm down. She is still flipping out at this point and says if that kid is still in my fucking house by the time I come back in here then I will call the cops and have him removed. I am so fucking tired of that little puke disrespecting me and you doing jack shit to stop it. She goes outside. I go talk to James, tell him he's out of line and this will be the last time he opens his mouth to run it. When my GF comes back in, I tell her she needs to go apologize to my son and that he will not be moving out actually. She says I will evict you if he doesn't leave. Actually, no, I think you need to leave anyways. I'm fucking done. She told my sister today that she truly wants both of us gone and took off for the day with her and her kid and told me I had better be out of her house before she returns. I have nowhere to go and don't plan to leave but I still think she's being ridiculous. Ida for refusing to kick my son out and demanding she apologize to my son?